Today, I want to talk about hair growth. We speak a lot about hair care, everything that pertains to your hair, but particularly today, I want to speak about hair growth because for some reason, and I don't understand why, well, I do understand why, but for some reason, people are under the assumption that they can make their hair grow longer and thicker than it is kind of predestined to grow. Hey, welcome to another video. Welcome to the Bajo channel. This is the home of self-care, beauty, wellness, and any and everything that'll help you to become the most empowered version of you. Today, I want to talk about hair growth. We speak a lot about hair care, everything that pertains to your hair, but particularly today, I want to speak about hair growth because for some reason, and I don't understand why, well, I do understand why, but for some reason, people are under the assumption that they can make their hair grow longer and thicker than it is kind of predestined to grow. And it's a lot, in part, the reason is a lot of marketing ploys and a lot of marketing scams to make you purchase a product that make you believe that you're going to get something that your body is not even designed to do, or your scalp, your follicles is not even able to produce. I want to share a few reasons why your hair is only going to grow a certain amount based on different predispositions that's specific to you or your family or your genetic history, right? That way, when you're working on your hair care and you're trying to grow your hair or you're trying to make your hair thicker, and there are things that you can do to make your hair grow, but it has to grow within the boundaries of your set genetic or your set limit. You know what I mean? And I'm going to explain that a little bit more in this video. So hair growth, right? I wrote some things down so I could recall them quickly. We talk about hair growing thicker, right? Let's just talk about the thickness of the hair, the density of the hair. So some people have very thin hair. Some people have like a medium gray, like it's thin, have a little thickness. It's like in the middle. And then some people hair is extremely, extremely thick. Like, I mean, it is so voluminous, like they don't have to do much of anything. Their hair is just thick. And I want to explain to you why. It's not a magic potion. It's not anything that they're using specifically. I'm going to explain to you exactly why. So there are hair follicles on everyone's scalp. The follicle is like the little holes that the hair comes out of, right? So everyone have a certain amount of holes on their hair. Some people have more follicles than others. So that's one. Let's just think about this. If you have more hair follicles, you have a greater chance of your hair growing much thicker, right? Because it's more follicles on your head. Two, it's certain amount of hairs that grow out of each follicle. Some people may have 10 hairs that grow out of one follicle. Some people may have 2. Some people may have 30. It's just what you are predispositioned to. It's already set. That's your hair. That's your hair texture. So you have the number of follicles, right? Then you have the number of hairs that grow out of each follicle. Some people may have one hair to grow out of a follicle, right? So now here we go again. You have the follicle size. Everybody's follicle size is different. You have certain diameters that hair is allowed to even come through those follicles. So some people have larger follicles. Some people have more hair that's coming through those follicles. And some people have more follicles altogether. Those three things by itself is going to set a difference in what someone's hair density would be compared to another. You know, when your hair is thinner and softer, you may have less follicles on your hair. You may have less hair growing out of each follicle, or your follicle size may be smaller in diameter, which means that less hairs are able to come through. So the reason I'm breaking it down like this is because I want you to understand that it's a certain amount that you have. Now, we go into different areas of making what you have healthier and the strongest that it can be. However, you cannot give yourself more follicles, or you can't make more follicles grow out of that follicle, right? That's on your scalp. And you can't increase the size of the follicle. Just focusing on the follicle. There are so many, and I'm going to do a different series of videos on just this whole idea of hair thickness and hair growth, so you can understand and not beat yourself up because maybe your hair is not as thick as this person, or your hair is not as full. Certain people are not designed to have that hair, as you already can see. My hair personally is very soft and very fine. That's my hair. My mother's hair is like that. My father's hair like that. My sisters, my brothers. That's it. My hair is a little bit thicker than my some of my siblings, but it's still on that softer, thinner side because that's the way our scalp and the follicles on our hair is set up. Some people have so many follicles on their hair and so many strands growing out of that follicle. Some people have 40, 50. It's so many follicles coming out of that one, so many strands coming out of that follicle. So you see these people with this extremely thick hair. And it's not a potion. It's not a mixture that you can create that's going to change these predetermining factors. And that's what I wanted to do. Like, it's certain predetermined things. That's your hair. Now, it doesn't mean that your hair can't be the thickest that it can be, have the most healthiest texture that it can have. You have to work within the parameter of what you already are dealt. You know what I mean? And a lot of us, our hair is really fine. A lot of us, it's the care of our hair or the neglect of it, you know? And I see people working so hard to get thicker hair. Or it's one thing if your hair was thicker and then it thinned out and you want to return back to that type of thickness. Okay. But if your hair has never been like extremely thick or extremely full, chances are it's not going to get that way. It's not. If I want my hair to be extremely full, I'm putting hair in my head. That's going to be my way because my hair is not growing that way. Some people's hair will grow full extremely. And respecting those boundaries of what your hair can and cannot do, it's going to alleviate a lot of pressure from you. And I always talk about, it's no need for us to compare. It's no need for you to hold yourself up next to your friend or your even a family member. One of your family members can have way thicker hair and fuller hair, and they're able to do so many different things and you can't, because that's just the way it is set up. And so I'm saying this to say, stop exhausting yourself trying to find something that you're going to put on your hair to make it fuller. And it's not. I promise you, I've been in this industry for over 30 years. Licensed over 30 years, 33 years to be exact. It's nothing. I've had my hand on a myriad of products, great products. Nothing is making your hair grow thicker. There are products that make your hair feel thicker because it will coat your hair to make it feel thicker than it is. And that works for some people, but it's not making your hair thicker. It's making it appear thicker. And if that's fine, that's fine. But I feel like sometimes we put too much of a burden on ourselves and too much of an expectation. You want something that you're not going to get. And I'm not saying this to be like a buzzkill or anything of that nature, but I am saying it to be realistic and to stop stressing yourself out to have something that is not going to be. Your hair is beautiful. Your hair is a part of you, but it's never going to be something that it was never designed to be. You have a certain amount of hair follicles. You have a certain amount of strands that's growing out of those follicles. And you have a certain size in the follicle. So every size is different. So you got the size, the number of follicles, and you have the number of strands that's growing out of the follicles. Get down. Scratch that out, Hassan. So you have certain predispositions that, and just that is the video in itself. Just those 3 things. I have so many other things I will cover in different videos, but just your follicle, just giving attention to what is my predetermined follicle set. How many follicles do I have? How many strands are coming out of my follicle? And what's the size and diameter of each follicle on my head? Get right there. Listen, you can't change any of those. I promise you. If certain things have happened to you, and maybe your hair used to be thicker, and maybe certain things, maybe you're on medication, maybe stress, something may be going on, and it's affecting it, and you can get back to what it was, yes. But if you never ever had that, no ma'am. No sir. It will not happen. And I wanted to do this video because, as we enter into the new year, right? Let's manage our expectations for ourselves and for others. You only can do what you can do. They only can do what they can do. They have what they have. You have what you have. And here's the thing. Be happy with what you have. Make the best of what you have. A lot of times with our hair, it's not even that we need something different. It's that you're not even managing what you have well. And so now what you have, it's not working for you because you are not being a great steward of what you already have. So yeah, your follicle size, the number, the strands, it matters. Hair is only going to grow as thick as it's allowed to. You're only going to have the fullness that your hair is allowed to have, that you're predispositioned for. Nothing more and nothing less. That's it. No hocus pocus, salesy gimmick, none of that. But you can make what you have the healthiest that it can possibly be. This is the Bajo channel. I thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. This is the home of self-care, beauty, wellness, and any and everything that'll help you to become the most empowered version of you. I appreciate you. Thank you for listening. And remember that self-care is the best care. Later.